So this is what I believe to be a 2000 model Yamaha Timberwolf 250 four-wheel drive. Got it on Marketplace for 500 bucks, not running. The guy told me he messed with the carburetor, and that's probably what's wrong with it. Having not heard this, is kind of a gamble. You never know. He said it was kept in a garage for 5 years, went to start it up, and it wouldn't crank. And that's almost the extent to what I know. So we have a charged battery here. Turn it on. In neutral, nothing with a good battery. So we're probably going to need a relay for the starter just to get started here. We're going to need some parts for the carburetor. I'm sure we will get those ordered. I noticed this boot is cracked, so I'll get one of those. We may or may not have to make a repair to this airbox lid. Someone drilled a hole in it, probably for starting fluid. Not a good sign. Also, the steering here. The steering itself feels really good. There's a little bit of extremely loose play in it. As you can see there, I can move the bars with my fingertips about, I don't know, 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch until it engages. So we'll look to see what we need to order and diagnose that. However, when you really start to look at this thing, the CV boots are all good. The tires are in great shape. The engine doesn't seem to leak any oil at all. Neither did the front or the rear differentials. This thing appears to be mostly stock and unmodified, which is what I really like to see. So after that quick overlook, let's get some parts ordered and see if we can put this Yamaha Timberwolf four-wheel drive back into use. You can see why I think this starter relay is bad. You can see the relay right here. If I jump the two with a screwdriver, tries to start. So before we even put that relay on here, just out of curiosity, let's see if this thing will pop off. Hear that? We got spark. It's not getting fuel. So that's pretty cool. This thing's held on just by this little rubber grommet. That's really smart. So our little tool setup we got here, this Amazon relay looks to be identical to the original relay. The plugs are the same, and this Amazon one came with all new hardware and the new rubber piece that holds it in place. Big surprise here, I can't find my dielectric grease. So I'm just gonna use a dab of this regular grease. Put grease in there. So I regret to inform y'all that relay did not fix the problem. Well, that is a prime example of what you get when you try to be lazy with diagnostic work. I'm gonna have to pull these plastics off of here and then I'll get back with you. What I'm trying to figure out is why the machine will start if you jump the starter relay, but not when you press the button on the handlebars. All right, so here's kind of what I did here. I took the start button off. The actual start button looks to be a brown wire and a red and white wire. So if you follow that down the handlebars here, this top right corner should be positive to that start switch. So I got a power probe here hooked to the battery, and if you click this up to positive, it'll send power to this plug in this top right corner. Starts the machine. So that tells me from this plug down to the relay, there's no issues with the wiring, because you're getting, if you send power to it, it receives it all the way to the starter. So with that being said, the problem lies from here to the handlebars, which would most likely be this switch. I figure while I'm waiting for the start switch to come in the mail, I may as well put this new carburetor on it. I would love to have a factory Mikuni carburetor, but they're going for over $200 for a used one. Like one that needs to be rebuilt on eBay is $200, and I'm just not paying that for something like this. So we're still waiting on the switch to come in. While we were waiting, we put the new carburetor on it. We just changed the spark plug, so let's jump this relay again. Should fire up. Just got the new kill switch put on here. Moment of truth. We'll turn it on. All right. That is awesome. Man, I cannot wait to ride this thing. I'm gonna look at the steering real quick, get that safe, and then we're gonna have to take this thing for a test drive. So here's where the steering shaft comes down, and it looks like it attaches to this plate here, which goes to the inner tie rod ends. This is one of those situations that seems like it's too good to be true, because if I wiggle the bars right there, you can see the play is coming from this plate. So do I just tighten this nut up? Is it going to be that easy? You can see the nut I'm talking about a little bit better here. This is the steering shaft, and it looks like it clamps this plate to the steering shaft. I don't know if it's spline, keyed, or a taper fit, but it looks like I'm just going to be able to tighten that nut up. Yeah, look at that. You can see that washer is loose right there. I bet you I'm going to be able to tighten that up, and this is going to be fine. that fixed it. And just wow, look at that. I am not used to an easy fix. The play's gone. You can see the tires moving there. The input is exactly how it's supposed to be. So it got a little dark yesterday, but now that the steering is all done, let's take this thing for a test drive, make sure it goes through all the gears and everything. There's reverse. Well, that is just awesome. It seems like that carburetor, the idle might could use a little bit, but it goes through all the gears. It seems to be a pretty nice machine. Let's do a little bit more maintenance. So I did order a new air filter for this, get that swapped out. Yeah, I'd say it was about time. We're just going to do an oil change here. This is kind of alarming. This drain plug here, it's just finger tight, you know. Don't think that's supposed to be like that. At least the oil looks good. For some reason, people never really change these filters when they do an oil change. See, I mean, God knows when that thing was changed. For some reason, people just don't seem to change them when they do oil on ATVs. Now I have a pretty nice, fully serviced machine that after everything's said and done, I have about $580 invested into it. I'm probably gonna end up selling it, but man, does this bring back some nostalgia. I had a 99 Timberwolf when I was about 10, 11 years old, and I rode that thing until the wheels fell off of it every single day.